For starters, I wanted to talk about something that I've seen a lot of you posting in like content this week, your stories. And I got lit up inside every time I saw it because I was like, wow, I'm about to blow their minds completely. Um, and so something that a lot of people say when it comes to manifesting is to be grateful and to make sure you're always like showing gratitude for everything you receive. And I have a different view on that. It's been my experience that the gratitude led to shame or guilt when you weren't having things come in right away. And it's kind of like another way to kind of put it on a pedestal and put the things you desire outside of you when they're already something that you have within you. They're already yours. It's just a matter of like tuning your frequency, getting to the right station um, for you to align with the version of you who already has all the things that it is you desire. And so my stance has been fuck gratitude, which may seem very extreme for some of you. Um, but I'm very big on sovereignty and on like owning your power and being the creatrix or creator of your own reality. And so with that, um, glad you feel the same way. Um, so with that, when you are seeking it, when you're chasing it, it keeps you like in this repel state where everything is outside of you and you're not attracting, you're not magnetizing it to you, you're repelling it away. So the goal is to get to a place where you believe so deeply in yourself and you are trusting so much in what you're creating and the steps that you're taking that are aligned with where you're going that you get to know it's already yours, you already have it, it's not outside of you. If it's forced, aka we're supposed to feel it because it's the status quo, then I question it deeply. Yeah. Um, and the way the way it popped into my mind like a week ago before I even had created this little mini series, um, it was like think about guys on Wall Street, right? Think about all the stockbrokers on Wall Street. You think they're like slapping each other's hands after making a big deal? Like, yeah, man, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for making that big deal. Like, no, they're celebrating themselves. They're boosting themselves up. Like, yeah, I'm the man. And so taking that off the pedestal and recognizing that like nobody's coming to save you, nobody has gotten you to where you are. Everything you become is because you made a decision to get yourself here. You're the one who's like pushing things in the direction you want to go or pushing them away from where you don't want to be. It's all you. And so the sooner you realize that like you truly are the one who's in charge and responsible for your own reality, the sooner you can stop putting it outside of yourself. And so really looking into like what actions am I taking? What do I know is going to push me forward? What are the things that I've recognized aren't working, but am still doing them because somebody told me at one point I was supposed to? Um, and figuring out who you are and what you really want so you can align with that version of you. And now I'm going to check my notes because I totally lost place of my rant. So the key here is that you have to be willing to take the action required to become the person who has it because it's already yours. You just need to align with what, like, the reality and believe so fully in the world that you're creating and that no one can sway you. Like, believing so fully in your desires and where you're going that there isn't even a version of you that could possibly allow you to fail. And that any of those little perceived failures along the way are really just redirecting you into what you could have been in like that could have been like where you really want to be. Like that's redirection that usually comes with a lesson when you're able to look at it in that lens. Which brings me to my next point, of also taking money off of the pedestal. The way we're taught to believe about money is that it's evil, it's not good to have, bad people have money. Like there's so many different beliefs you could have here. That it's scarce, that it's not abundant, that it's something that you have to work hard to receive. All these different beliefs around money are the exact things that are pushing it away. Our baseline when we come into this world is one of abundance and overflow. It is our birthright. Like when you think of babies, right? Like when you're born and you see somebody like all excited with their brand new baby that they bring home, thinking like, oh my God, I created this thing. Um, every single thing that they do is magnetic. Everything, like when you see somebody walk in with a baby, unless you're not a kids person, but hey, you still see that like babies light up, they're hilarious when they giggle. Absolutely everything they do is mesmerizing. People love babies. So you are born worthy. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to chase anything. You don't have to be anything different. You only have to be your authentic self. But when we're raised in the belief systems of our parents or our caregivers or whoever we were brought up by, all of their limiting beliefs in their stories are what we are raised in. And so it reinforces that we are not abundant, that we're not worthy, that we have to do things outside of ourselves to earn it or to achieve it, or we're not good enough. And so when you get curious about those thought forms, those patterns, those things that you accepted inherently as truth by these like giant humans from your tiny human self perspective, like they seem like giants. Of course they know the world better than you do. You are a tiny human. And so we take those beliefs for ourselves and we don't question them. They become law. And those become like the gilded cage that we put around ourselves. And when you knock those bars down, everything you want is on the other side. So it's not anything you have to become, it's an unbecoming of the ways you were taught you had to be in order to get the thing. So it's not something outside of you you have to reach for. And when you do that, you're putting yourself in the energy of chasing, always reaching, never having. You don't chase what's already yours. You're the magnet. And when you're in your power, things are drawn to you naturally. It's all you to you. Um, something that I've been playing with this week um, is instead of praying to something outside of yourself, right? I've been praying to my higher self, more in the setup of like creating a dialogue, like a conversation of me to like higher me who already has those things, like me to future me, of like, hey, I really like anything you would say to like when you are in those moments of like praying outside of yourself, right? Of like, I really wish you could grant me the strength, the resilience, the whatever it is that you think is outside of you. Like, talk to yourself that way and look at how that shifts for you because it's moved mountains for me in just this week alone. And so the thing with challenging those beliefs is that inevitably old emotions and things will come up, and that's totally normal. And this isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're drawing back the arrow. And like the tension you feel and the doubts and the fears, these are coming up because you're leaving them behind. You can't take them with you where you're going. And so the choice here is that you can hold onto the baggage and limit the arrow, like where you're going, limit that resistance and avoid it, or you can let it go and shoot it with full force toward your vision. And like, even if the arrow doesn't hit the target right away, it's the same process. You just keep pulling back that arrow, reaching into that resistance, letting it go. And then naturally, as you release, that arrow will fly again and again closer to where it is that you're shooting for. And this isn't about getting it perfect. Like, it's about trusting yourself and believing in yourself and staying completely rooted in who you are. And so, like, my fuck gratitude stance is not because it's bad or wrong. It's simply because um, gratitude is not the boss of you, and gratitude won't care if you're thanking it or not. And if you want to be thankful anyways, because that's an energy you attach with abundance, and like by all means, but like it's not a necessity, um, because it's your natural state when you are living authentically. And so like the same thing goes for like for money, for love, for success. Like whatever it is you're craving that you're putting on a pedestal outside of yourself, it's already yours. And all you have to do is like drop the things preventing you from having it and like owning your ability to create. Yeah, chasing is exhausting. This is something I've been really seeing a lot in my clients this month. Yeah. Especially with this planetary alignment, like I didn't go deep diving. I just know like when the planets align, like so do we. Um, and it creates a lot of energetic resistance. Um, and that can look different for many people. I had one person who really had frustration coming up just a couple days ago, and they were like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I was like, well, you know all the things, you just can't see it because you're too stuck in your frustration. And so, like, when you can look at it for what it is, you can recognize that, like, the emotions are not the enemy, they are the roadmap, and they show you, like, the ways you learned to protect yourself from the world and from people's beliefs. And so, it it's in getting curious about those emotions and those past versions of you that can show you just how brilliant, truly, like, really brilliant your tiny human self was. Like from the child's mind, you can see completely where they went wrong, but it was right for them when they created these beliefs and these stories. And it was serving you at the moment. It just isn't serving you now. And when you can show them like where you are now and challenge those beliefs and be like, hey, I see that this is what was true for you way back when. And I'm also going to show you this is how it is for me now. And like, then they will be willing to drop that belief and stop fighting you on it. Because really, at the end of the day, it's just your brain trying to protect you. I think that's the mic drop moment. So, all right. So now we get to do the meditation that I created specifically for permission granted and also this soft launch into Wanderlust, um, where we will be unlocking our manifestations. And so, if you haven't caught the first recording, definitely give that a listen because the whole way it was set up was for you to get so crystal clear on what it is you want before accessing this meditation. I mean, if you want to go for it anyways, like by all means, I'm not going to stop you. Uh, you're the one whose permission you're seeking. So, like, not telling you what to do, just letting you know, like, the way it was intended in this setup. And so, going through the questions and like doing the play practice are what are going to shift you to the version that can have the greatest impact from this meditation. Definitely almost said medication. And kind of, it's like energy medicine. Okay. Hmm. All right, so we are going to start. Just take a moment and get comfortable. You can either sit down for this or lay down, whatever feels more natural for you in your body. Um, I know I mentioned in the welcome email that if you're not used to any like guided meditations, it's sometimes helpful to um, have like some sort of eye mask or like a cloth, a cloth or something to put over your eyes. My mouth is super dry. I'm gonna pause here. And so just allow yourself to get comfortable. Take a few deep breaths. Mhm. And feeling yourself completely supported by whatever it is you're resting in. And if you're in a chair, maybe your feet are firmly planted on the ground or elevated in front of you. And noticing any tension you may be feeling in your body and maybe like directing your breath to those spots. And closing your eyes when you feel ready. And we're going to begin with a box breath to prepare you for the journey. I find this is the easiest way, especially for people who are not used to guided meditation work. I just feel like it helps you get deeper into the scene. And so we're going to breathe into the count of four, hold to the count of four, breathe out to the count of four, and hold to the count of four. And I'll count you through. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. And now allowing your body to breathe whatever way feels most comfortable for you. And now I want you to imagine that you're standing outside of a coffee shop. This could be your favorite coffee shop, or maybe it's one you've never seen before. And you're noticing that the air around you is cool and crisp, and you can faintly smell the aroma of freshly brewed coffee as you open the door, and you hear a soft bell chime signaling your arrival. You step inside, and the warmth of the space wraps around you like a comforting hug. The rich scent of roasted beans fills the air, mingling with hints of vanilla and cinnamon. And you look around, noticing the details of the space, hearing the soft hum of the espresso machine, seeing the polished wood of the counters, the cozy seating area by the windows. And other than that, it's quiet. You're the only customer here, and the space feels entirely yours. You walk up to the counter and place your order to the universe. Everything you have been manifesting for yourself, as if it's no big deal, like you're ordering your coffee. Telling the barista that exact magic number of money you've been manifesting, telling her the house you get to live in and the car you get to drive, and all of those other magnificent details that you have been focusing on over the last 5 days. Feeling the excitement building up in your body, knowing that you are overjoyed to share this with her. She smiles warmly at you and walks off to prepare your order with care. As you wait, you take in the sounds. You hear the clink of cups, the hiss of steam, the gentle rhythm of the coffee being poured. Thanking the barista, you go and find a seat in a table at the corner. As you sit, you place all of your attention on your left big toe, imagining that you're breathing in and out through your toe, feeling the energy there as if your toe is the center of your universe and everything else fades away. And these don't have to be exceptionally deep breaths. Just let it flow, grounding yourself even more deeply into this moment. The barista approaches your table, carrying a golden key. They hand it to you with a knowing smile and a wink, and gesture you towards a door at the back of the shop. You feel a spark of excitement mixed with curiosity. This key is yours alone, and behind that door lies everything you've ever desired, even the things you didn't think you'd let yourself have. And as you stand and walk toward the door, notice any hesitations or fears that arise. Are there thoughts or emotions bubbling up, knowing your dreams are waiting on the other side? Pause and place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly, taking 3 slow, deep breaths, applying gentle pressure to ground yourself deeper. And now inviting in your higher self to step forward, knowing that whatever way they appear to you is exactly how you're meant to see them. they tend to be a body of glowing light. And you watch as their glowing hands gently remove this energy from your body, placing it on the ground where it dissolves instantly, feeling the lightness in its absence. And your higher self now places their hands over the space where the energy was, pouring their healing light into you, repairing and restoring you completely. When you feel complete, you take your key and place it in the lock, turning it slowly, hearing the soft click as the door unlocks. And you push the door open, stepping into the space beyond. It's your dream life laid out before you in extremely vivid detail. And as you look around, what do you see? What feels exactly as you imagined? And what surprises you? Walk around this space, noticing how it feels to exist here, noticing the energies in your body. Maybe opening closets and drawers, and now you pull out your phone and instantly see notifications pouring in, either feeling the vibration or hearing the chime with every notification. Purchase confirmations, clients reaching out, opportunities that are aligning perfectly, and taking a deep breath, knowing this is yours because of who you are, not defined by how much you do, but because you are worthy and deserving of abundance. And now opening up your bank app to see the amount you have available to you in checking and your savings. Letting that all sink in and noticing what has shifted in your thought patterns as you take in the feeling that this money represents for you. Feeling into the energy and knowing that you can grant yourself permission to feel this at any time. And the more you return to this place, the faster those manifestations will come running to you. And now feeling into this version of you. How do they move? What is their posture like? Do they stand taller? Are they radiating confidence and self trust? Notice the feeling in your body. Is it safety, power, maybe excitement or joy? Really anchoring yourself into this sensation. Remembering that this is the exact energy of the wish fulfilled. And as you continue exploring, you come across a mirror. and you look at your reflection, taking in all the details of your appearance. What's changed? And as you stand face to face, notice, how has your inner dialogue shifted? Is it kinder, more loving, playful, maybe sassy or bold? And now speak to your reflection as though you're meeting an old friend, asking this version of you, what is one thing I can do daily to shift into this reality faster? What is the best part of your days now? What do you most look forward to? What is our favorite way to play? What do people say about her that made the greatest impact in their lives? Does she have a signature program or offer, or maybe a product? And feeling into the wisdom behind their answers, maybe experiencing some tingles in your body as they land. And if there's anything else you'd like to know, go ahead and ask them now. And if there's anything you didn't ask that they feel like you need to know, or anything that you're ready to let go of, you may invite them to tell you that now. When you feel complete, you can find your way back to the door, knowing that this is not goodbye as you walk away from this version of your reality because it's already yours. And as you find your way back to the door, you pause and glance back, taking one last good look at your life, really feeling and rooting into those feelings, all the emotions that are stirred up, knowing this is the life you get to live. And now turning back to the door, you step through and the scene shifts, finding yourself back in the coffee shop. And as you sit back down, you slowly begin to bring awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers and toes, stretching your arms up over your head, taking a nice deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes, carrying the energy of your manifestations with you, knowing that you already have it and it's done. I see you got a visitor during that call.
Snoring visitor.
Right. So, the more you access this level of who you are, um, really going back to like those questions that you asked your future self and the feelings that you rooted into your body, like remember that place and maybe find something that is outside of you to remind you of what's possible, remind you of what's already yours, just waiting for you to like step into that version. And so maybe it's something that you noticed in the house or office or wherever it is that you were. Like maybe it's some sort of emblem that represents that future for you. And like put it somewhere that you will see it every day. Put it somewhere, maybe on a keychain, something you constantly reach for, and to really like ground into you the feelings of like, yes, that's why I'm doing all of this. And also recognizing that, like, again, like it doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be you letting go and surrendering to like what your soul has in store for you. And so this would be an excellent time to do some journaling around like what came up for you. Um, I find that when I do practices like this, it's really helpful to do like an Epsom salt bath to continue to like cleanse out any of those energies that come up from accessing these like new realities. Um, and obviously, if you guys have any like questions, anything that comes up, you are welcome to reach out to me in Telegram. Um, and also reminder for those of you who joined that for an additional one-time payment of 25.25, you can also have access to Wanderlust, the monthly membership of weekly guided journeys like this one. Um, where typically we will begin with this practice and then have a chance to share like what came up for you afterwards. And so I'd ask you what came up. I don't know if you can share with us.
I think one of the coolest things for me was that like with the intention of that whole like just pick a random thing that, like this week to pay attention to from the other night. And I was like, oh, I didn't even do it like at the moment, like then. And then the next day I was like, oh, right, a random thing. And I was like, I don't know, like, it was like a key. And then I was like, that's really not that random. I was like, I like the symbolism of keys. Like my brain already attaches to that anyway. So I was like, yeah, but if this is my journey, I can do whatever I want. So I was like, whatever. I was like, a key. I was like, but like a master key, like my key. And then during that, when you were like, and here's your golden key, I was like, shut up, stop it. I was like, apparently this week was supposed to play out exactly as it has, so that this is the moment. So it was really cool to like forget that I had set that, like, right, like, and I know I would have known, like, at any other point if it had come up, I would have seen and, like, felt that and been like, "Oh, okay." But it was really cool, like, after, like, again, all the series of this week and everything, just to be like, "And there it is, the cherry on the top of everything." So, that was really fun for me, like, just in general, like, so even before going there, I was like, this is already mine, this is already me, like, this is like, even just the waitress with the key was like, I don't wanna say enough because the rest was really fun and really cool, but, like, I was like, "Okay, I'm complete, thanks."
Mm. I also love that like I wrote this entire meditation before before we even set the intentions, before we even had that first call, like literally after our conversation, like the week before this whole thing even happened.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's so amazing to see
and
like
I
the synchronicities that come from that.
yeah, and I thought it was really interesting, like, um, for me, like, the whole at first, it wasn't even a room, it was just, like, my normal house, like, it was, like, my normal life because 'cause I'm like, "Shit's happening tomorrow." Like, it was like, is my normal life, but it was the car that I want that doesn't exist yet. Like the first ones just made it to a port in the United States. So it was like the car that I want that I've, already said like I don't want to buy it for 6 months to a year while they like work out the kinks and stuff, like in the new models. But I was like, it was the car that I want, like with my oldest, like older in the back seat with the dog, like in the third row, like joy. And I was like, hmm, okay, thank you. And I was like, I don't even need to go in the house. I was like, I'm gonna go in the house. I was like, it's my house. And you were like, look in the mirror. And I was like, hey, that's me, like I am right now. Cool. So it was fun. And then there was snoring, a lot of snoring.
Yeah. She wanted to be a part of the fun, you know? Mm. All right. Um, so Wanderlust, if you would love to join us because you enjoyed this practice thoroughly, this is what you get to look forward to weekly. And so typically it is 111 a month, but if you join at the 25 one-time payment for this month, and decide to stay with us, then it's $88 moving forward. Yes, yes, you'll be there. Um, and so only 88 a month moving forward, or you can buy in full for 88 for the entire year. If you're an absolute like, fuck yes, this is exactly what I want and exactly what I need, and I love this, and you want to have like more of this stuff to like really ground in the energetics of everything you've been doing to bring that like spirituality piece into your business. And so, yeah, if you want to have a conversation around that, or if you just want me to send you any and all of the links, then let me know. And so with that, I will say good night.